Welcome into our In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's director of simulcasting, who gave you Emollient and Angela Renee last week out at Santa Anita. I had Tonalist and Bel Galante. So we had a few winners last week on the big Breeders' Cup preview weekend.
Yeah, we did, and Angela Renee was very impressive.
Yes, she was.
That's one of those that I picked out, and I was watching the race, and I thought I was right on that one. I couldn't believe it. So it was a great day of racing last week, but we got some nice races coming up this weekend at Keeneland.
We're going to do a separate podcast for Saturday, as we normally do on the In the Money show, that will focus in on the 5 stakes races at Keeneland for Saturday. And during the fall meet, we're going to be doing a podcast for every day of racing. We'll look at the feature each day and also the late pick 4, which is what we're going to do here on Friday. There are 2 stakes races we want to talk about. The first one is the Stoll Keenon Ogden Phoenix, Grade 3. 3-year-olds and up going 6 furlongs. It's the 8th race on the card. And as you might expect, well-matched fields for these races. Who did you land on in the Phoenix?
Yeah, the very first thing you start thinking about when you handicap Keeneland, and this is a dirt track for the very first time since 2006, and we had this inside speed bias that everybody's saying is going to come back. I'm going to assume this racetrack is brand new, so I'm going to say this is going to be a fairly run racetrack on Friday, and it's going to favor nobody. So I'm taking the outside horse in my first dirt race. The Phoenix, I like work all week. Florence Giroux flies in to ride from Arlington. Roger Brueggemann has this horse and was really nice on the poly track last time out, but the 2 races before that impressed me. The horse won at Oaklawn, won at Prairie Meadows, ran well at Arlington. They're shipping him in here for the Stoll Keenon Ogden Phoenix, and I really like the fact that Loren may be able to get the lead from the outside and control the pace here. So Burn Identity has got a lot of speed and would be my second choice here. I can make a case for a lot of horses here, and Rainbow Air is the one that, if this was at Monmouth, it'd be a lot because the horse loves Monmouth. But I don't know if he transfers that form here. That track is so speed favoring. I don't think this track is going to be that way. I hope it's not. And so I'm going to take a shot with Work All Week from the outside. 10 for 13 Lifetime impresses me, too. I don't care where you've been running. It's Arlington Park, Indiana. Hawthorne is taking his race everywhere and really good right now at a City Zip. I think he's going to control the pace from the outside. I'm going to go with Work All Week on top of Burn Identity and Rainbow Air, the 2 and the 4.
You went outside. I went inside for Nick Zito and CZ. We're seeing Zito horses back here now that Keeneland's returned to dirt. And I thought CZ, I was real impressed in the Grade 1 race 2 starts back. Didn't run so well last time, but working spectacularly for Zito. And I think there's a whole lot of speed in here, and I'm thinking CZ should break well, tuck in right behind the speed. Somebody tires, a rail opens up, and he gets through. Not for any kind of bias, just the way the race, I think, might play out for CZ at a bit of a price. So I'm going to try CZ. I'm going to use Rainbow Air, Lemon Drop Dream, 4 and 3 respectively. Eastwood is the one I started to pick, so I'm going to throw him in. I think he's had a couple of improved efforts since he tried Graded Stakes Company for the first time back in June. So now he's taking another run at Stakes Company for Pletcher, and maybe he's a little bit better now. And I think Eastwood's real dangerous, but CZ is going to be my pick in the Phoenix. 9th race, Grade 1, Darley Alcibiades for 2-year-old fillies, going a mile and a 16th. And how did you see this one shaking out?
This one's tough. I changed my mind 4 times on this one, and again, I went to the horse on the outside with a real shot, and that's Gap Year with Rosario McLaughlin. McLaughlin is so tough. The horse, didn't win its first race at Saratoga, called a muddy track, but was bet down to 9-5. And the 13 hole, I have no idea how that's going to run here at the mile and 16th, but it comes from out of it anyway, so I don't think that's going to hurt. The other horse that I'm picking 2 horses on top. I'm going to take a 9-13 with a couple of horses with all. So I'm going to take Top Decile, the Alstall horse that comes out of the Saratoga maiden special weight that won pretty impressively under Rosie, and she comes to ride down here. So I can make a case for those 2 horses. Fashion Alert is the horse that I'm going to take a little bit of a stand against. Schuylerville was not that good a race. He only got a 70 buyer up there, so I had a tough start and maybe overcome some pressure at the beginning, and she's going to be probably 7-5 in here, 9-5. So I'm going to take a stand against her. But the other horses I can make a case for. But I'm going to go outside with the 9 and the 13. Use those 2 plus the Fashion Alert, the one horse in the second spot with Innovative Idea and Hardy's horse for Jimmy Graham, with all in the final leg of the trifecta.
I'm going to go the 9-horse Top Decile, if that's how you pronounce it. Alstall's 22% on the sprint to route move like this. And this horse, she was very impressive in winning the maiden at Saratoga. And the pedigree says she should have no problem with the stretch out. So that's the one I'm going to take. Pangburn for Kenny McPeak I'm going to use with her. Also, the One Fashion Alert. But I'm like you. I am not real high on her chances. But she's drawn well, and it's Pletcher, so I'll throw her in an exacta. And then the 2 Mile High Butterfly, I think at a bit of a price, intrigues me. But kind of like the 9 a good bit in there. Late pick 4 starts with race 7. A guaranteed pool from TVG on Fridays. And for the 7th race, the 2-year-old race, I do picks for the Keeneland.com website each day. And in there, I had to pick somebody, so I picked the 8 Exodus for Larry Jones. But for a pick 4, I'm going to take all in the first leg. And then I'm going to use CZ and Eastwood in the Phoenix. I'm going to use Top Decile and Pangburn in the Alcibiades. And then Conquest Rebel, I like a good bit in the 10th race. Thought best race was the first start on turf and seems to be working well. Kitten's Approach I might throw in there as well, but I think the 8 Conquest Rebel is the key one for me. What about you?
Yeah, and the pick 4 gets to be a little dicey. We didn't talk about this earlier, but they are calling for a 90% chance of rain on Friday. So always take that into consideration. And that 10th race is on the turf. There's a real good chance that we get that much rain that one may come off. It's it's an allowance, and we're obviously the turf course is very important for us to keep available for Saturday. So it wouldn't surprise me if something happened if we get an inch of rain or something. So make sure that you handicap that race both ways. Having said that, the 7th race, I was going to go all in there, but I'm going to take a stand because it's either all or nothing. So I'm going to take a stand on Tapped Wicked for Asmussen. The horse just barely lost at Churchill. And got beat by Handy Candy, a pretty impressive winner. And I'm just going to take a stand because if you don't go deep here, you got to take a stand because you can't afford it. So I'm going to go single with Tapped Wicked. I'm going to use 4 horses in the 8th race, with my top pick being Work All Week, the 8 horse. But I'm going to also use Burn Identity along with Rainbow Air and CZ. You talked me into using Nick Zito. He is going to like having a winner here on the first time back because we got the dirt track back. The 3rd race, I'm going to use as many as I possibly can in the Alcibiades because I'm not sure, but my top picks will be Top Decile and Gap Year, the 9 and 13. And on the last race, I would take a close look at India's Song, the 15. If she draws in, she's probably the most impressive maiden winner last time out. So the 15 horse sometimes gets overlooked if she draws in from the also eligibles. Otherwise, I would use Conquest Rebel, Treaty Oak, and Princess Mariah in the pick 4.
Best of luck with your wagers. Keep your Keeneland Select account fully funded so you can take advantage of any good opportunities that come along during this fall meet that is getting underway with the Phoenix and the Alcibiades on the opening card. For Jim Goodman, Tom Leach, and that's the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.